Hey, what's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to KGX to the Z TV. Here with another one. This time, just a little match review with Chelsea 2, Newcastle 1. Very, very important three points, especially coming off of that, I'd say, sort of disappointing draw. I think Liverpool were there, not for the taking, but for at least for us to get something out of it. But with some very, very difficult fixtures coming up away to Old Trafford on the weekend, Newcastle midweek in the Cup. And then after that, I think we've got Arsenal at home and then maybe even a Conference League game mixed in there. Very important for us to get all 3 points in this one. One of those cases where you would always say points over performance. And this one, we got a little bit of both, right? We got the 3 points, and the performance was pretty good. I thought on the overall balance of play, we deserved to win this one. I thought we created the better chances. I thought we were unlucky to not have three goals in this one. We had a Cole Palmer goal, 4th minute, ruled out for being offside, which was the right call, but he was just fractionally offside. So maybe if he holds his run just a little bit, delays it for just a split second, we get that early goal and really put Newcastle, sort of underneath the caution, just blitz them. But we didn't. We got back on the score sheet. Nico Jackson, I think, has got 6 goals in 9 games, maybe 6 goals, 4 assists, or 6 goals and 3 assists. So his G&A is right up there, kind of showcasing the overall player that he's been, which is nice, really, too, when you consider the fact that he didn't have much of a preseason, right? He came back to us injured after picking up that knock on international duty with Cameroon. Is it Cameroon or Senegal? One of them, but yeah, he's, like I said, he's really improved his finishing. He scored headers this year. This one, his wasn't the toughest of finishes, but these were finishes that he missed last year all the time and sort of got him some stick, even though he had a really good return overall. I know it was kind of inflated a little bit by that Spurs game and things like that, but you still got to put the ball in the back of the net. And I think he had 14 non-penalty goals last year, which for a striker in their first year is better than Drogba, better than Torres, better than Shevchenko, probably right up there with the likes of better than Morata. Not as good as Diego Costa's first year, but Diego was a much more established and a little bit older striker, so his game was a little bit more refined when he came to us. But right up there with some of the best that we've had over the last 20-25 years in terms of first year performance. But yeah, he gets on the score sheet. Very lovely pass. Cole Palmer just reads the game, has sort of some telepathy with Neto, plays the ball in behind. Neto beats Livramento for pace, squares it. Nico back post, tap in, 1-0, fully deserved. But unfortunately, just like we did in the Liverpool match, we end up conceding a goal, and sort of in the similar fashion, right? They get in behind where Fofana's drawn out a little bit. Defender gets in behind, plays a square ball. Colwell can't deal with it. Sort of an awkward waist-high height ball. Colwell's probably a little bit nervous about putting the ball into his back of the net with the clearance. Sanchez probably could have done a little bit better. Could have cut off the angle, but he had to make sure he was covering his near post, so he was a little bit rooted to the spot. And then Isak does what Isak does versus gets on the score sheet. It's 1-1. They had probably played a little bit better after that first goal for about 5 minutes. Before their goal, they were controlling it a little bit, creating some opportunities, kind of creating the tempo a little bit. They really missed Anthony Gordon because you could kind of see that Almiron just does not carry the same threat. Harvey Barnes, who did well in that first goal for them, carries that threat, but if you have him on one side, Isak through the middle, and then Barnes on the other side, you've got 3 guys that have a lot of pace and can sort of pick the ball up and run with the ball, right? They're very good ball carriers, ball progressors in terms of dribbling, but with Gordon being out, they just didn't have that opportunity. So, we were able to sort of really kind of pay more attention to Isak, who, apart from that, and he did have a chance in the second half where he rounded the keeper and put a shot that was ultimately deflected by, I think, Caicedo or Colwell wide. But other than that, he was pretty quiet. Harvey Barnes was fairly quiet. Almiron was a ghost. So we did a great job of just kind of controlling the game, managing the game, limiting their opportunities and their good opportunities, the good opportunities that they actually did have. Reece James, who had another stellar game just like he did at Anfield, had a couple of clearances off the line, so that was really, really nice to see him putting his body on the line. Nice to see him sort of responding to the challenge. I don't look at it as a criticism, but more of a challenge from Maresca in terms of him being more of a vocal leader and sort of not only just relying on his actions, which, to be fair, not everyone's going to be a vocal leader, right? Reece looks like he's a little bit more of an introvert and sort of the player that we know the qualities there, and we know that other players can count on him, but he's just probably not as vocal, and it would be nice to have a little bit of more of a vocal presence around the club, especially as it relates to how many youngsters we have that probably need a little bit of guidance, right? We know Reece has done it before for us. Champions League final run, him and Chilwell were just instrumental in terms of both going forward and locking down defenses or locking down opposing attacks. But yeah, we started the game off well, started the first half off well, we started the second half off well, got a goal, Cole Palmer, not a goal and an assist, a goal in like the hockey pre-assist, but this time he picks the ball up. A lot of work to do. Carries the ball, beats Nick Pope near post. It's 2-1, and we're thinking, all right, let's get another one. Put this one out of reach. Unfortunately, we don't get one. Newcastle starts to eat their way back into it. And like most Premier League games go when it's 2-1, it doesn't matter who the opposition is or who's playing. The team that's chasing the goal is always going to have their opportunities, right? It's just a natural inclination for Premier League managers to sort of take their foot off the gas a little bit and sit back. And we did that, right? We made a couple of subs to gain more control. Brought Enzo on for Lavia, who were probably still managing his minutes. Brought Mudryk on for Madueke to maybe offer a little bit of a threat in behind with him and Neto. Brought Nkuku in, who's a little bit more secure than Jackson in certain aspects. Brought on Cucurella for Gusto for a little bit more defensive solidity, as well as somebody that can kind of go into that midfield and sort of break the play up, get a little bit shithousery in there and things like that. So we had, we made some good subs, and ultimately we did see the game out, which was very, very, very positive and very reassuring, especially as young teams, right? One of the things about young teams, and it doesn't matter how much talent that you have and how much potential your young players might have, you have to learn how to control matches, and you have to learn how to see matches out, right? You're not going to blitz everyone. It doesn't matter if you're prime Barcelona under Pep, or if you're Man City or whoever. You have to be able to see matches out, right? We already know 1-0 to the Arsenal, or we know how Jose set up shop in 05-06 when we set the record for least amount of goals conceded. You have to learn how to navigate those situations and navigate those circumstances. And I thought we did a really good job of doing that and holding on. And there were definitely some nervy moments, as I sort of spoke to before, about Reece James heading the ball off the line a couple of times. Sanchez, pulling out a save here or there definitely got us into trouble, as he always does with his feet. But obviously that's from the direction of the manager, and the manager wants to see him doing those kind of things and playing that way. So there's always an element of risk. But yeah, very, very nice to get the 3 points. We needed the 3 points, especially after the disappointing loss in Liverpool, and then the match before that, where I think we drew with, because it was international break. We drew. Was it Palace? No, not Palace. I can't remember who it quite was, but if you remember, leave it in the comments. But we drew that, and then followed it up. So that good start that we originally had, it kind of put it on the back burner a little bit. But it's nice, like I said, to pick up those 3 points, especially against a team that ultimately we're going to be competing for the top 4. Nice that they capitalized off of a Villa drop points the day before. Arsenal ultimately dropping points. United being United. And then Spurs losing and so forth. So, Forest was pretty much the only team around us. Brighton ended up dropping points to the Wolves. Like I said, Forest was pretty much the only team around us that got the 3 points and got it comfortably. So, all in all, really good weekend for us. Really important to get it. Now we go away to Newcastle at the Carabao Cup. where we'll probably see a lot of rotation. And then it's a really big one, especially considering the news today that Ten Hag has been relieved and that Ruud van Nistelrooy is taking over as an interim until it looks like Amarin will probably come in eventually. But they're going to be flying high. New manager bounce. Old Trafford's going to be rocking to see one of their legends, one of their best ever strikers on the touchline. And who knows, maybe he has some different ideas. Didn't watch too much of him at PSV, but very, very important for us to go there and to still show them that there is still a gap between us and them. So we'll see. Like I said, I'm always nervous when we go to OT, right? OT, never much love when we go OT. But you got to be confident going into it, but also ultimately we need to get the win versus Newcastle in the Carabao Cup and progress in that one, because we need to be making 2 good runs, right? We know the league is out of the realm of possibility for a title charge and things like that, but we need to be winning the Conference League, and we need to be going really, really far in either the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup. So, with all that being said, very good, no injuries, no suspensions, going into it with a clean bill of health, and hopefully that continues going into the weekend tie against United. But appreciate everybody checking in. Make sure you hit that like, make sure you hit that subscribe, and we'll be back probably later on this week with either a United match preview or possibly a Newcastle either preview or definitely a match report for that one. So big up everybody as always, and see you guys around. Peace.